Hello there. Back for a long overdue video. I tend to try and, well, yeah, in theory I used to and still intend each time I paint a unit or anything like that, I'll sort of stick it up and sort of keep the videos a bit more regular. But I seem to have fallen right out of the habit in recent times, and yeah, I've got a lot more than one unit to show. I've done an entire army this time, so that shows how long it is since I last posted a video. But anyway, I'll, as always, sort of express my best of intentions to get back to what I was doing before. But yeah, no guarantees on that one because I continually fail to achieve that. Yeah. Anyway. For anyone that's still with us, thanks for being around. I may have to split this video into two parts because the software that I use for some reason only allows me to put up 15-minute videos. Anything over that it won't have, so it may be that I put this in two parts. We'll see how we go. But anyway, yeah, you've probably worked out by now, Napoleonic Russians. I don't know where I got this idea from, but I just decided somewhere that I fancied a sort of winter-themed Russian army. It's just a force for sharp practice, so it's not a huge army, but enough for a decent game. Yeah, I just had it in my head that I wanted a winter themed. I'd never done snow basing. I'd probably seen something on YouTube that made me think I wanted to do it. And I sort of quite like messing around with plastic kits as well, chopping them up and. There's plenty of people out there that are better at kit bashing and conversions than me, but I quite enjoy messing around with things a little bit. So yeah, this one I decided I'd try and do, Russian army. But what I've done, I've used the bodies there are French in greatcoats, mostly Warlord. There's a couple of Perrys in there as well, all plastics with the greatcoats. And a friend of mine kindly gave me a load of Russian backpacks and heads that he hadn't used on his Russian army, so I was able to put those backpacks and heads with the French bodies, and I think we've made sort of passable Russian troops in their greatcoats. That was the idea. I think it's worked out fairly well. So yeah, these are just a group of. I'll put some stills up at the end so you can get a much closer look. But yeah, it was a pretty easy conversion, to be honest. There was a bit more to it than I thought because I had to cut off some excess water bottles and some sword holders off the bodies. But that wasn't too difficult. Very easy with the plastics, isn't it? Just a bit of trimming and clipping, and yeah, that all worked pretty easily. And then once you paint over the top of it, you can't really see that you've left a bit of a mess behind. So it works pretty well. Yeah, so I was really pleased with this. Force for sharp practice, so not huge. So we've got three groups there of line troops. I'll try to vary the heads up a little bit as well. Have some bear heads and thrown in a few caps, forage caps. They're actually, I think they are the French heads because the French did some. Because the French box has got some forage caps and they look pretty similar to the Russian ones as far as I could see. So yeah, we've got a few of those going in there. We've got a few bear heads going in the front there with a bandage on. Really trying to mix it up and wanted a bit of a ragtag force really. So that's the line troops. We've got a couple of officers there to go with them as well. They're front rank metals. So really nice. In terms of painting, a lot of it was done with contrast and speed paints, to be honest, trying them out. Certainly the greatcoats were all done with speed paints, and I think the covers, the Shako covers as well, were done that way. The officers I did paint entirely without contrast and speed paints because I find that they don't work as well on the metal figures anyway. And it's just with your officers, I sort of want to put the extra time in and hopefully make them look that much better. But say we'll put some stills up at the end. But that's the line troops. And to go along with them, we've got a couple of groups of grenadiers. I couldn't resist having these. I don't know what you call them, the plumes on their Shakos are ridiculous, aren't they? Like huge bog brushes or gutter brushes. You get ridiculous things. So you've got to have some of those. But again, just the warlord bodies and a couple of Perry's ones in there as well. In their greatcoats and with Russian heads and backpacks. You can see if that helps at all, you can see the backpack there. So yeah, it works really nicely actually, I thought. So some grenadiers again with the front rank officers. I was going to see the lighting's not brilliant. I'll try and get something a little bit better for some stills at the end, as I say. But couple of nice officers from front rank. So yeah, all good. So that's another couple of groups. We'll move on to something else, and then we got some militia. I did a bit of a look around, and these are the, most people probably recognise, these are the Warlord Games plastic Prussian Landwehr. But actually, in terms of the dress, they look pretty similar to the Opolchany militia, the Russian militia force, even down to the badges on the hats. So I felt, there wasn't a lot of converting to do there really. It was just through the painting. Just put a few random different heads on and things as well, just to mix it up a little bit. But basically, they're as they came out the box. I really like the poses are a bit strange, a bit static for my liking, but I did like the sort of ragtag look of the troops, and the differences. They've all got different kit on, and if you look on the backs as well, they're all different types of backpacks or no backpacks. They're a right ragged bunch, which suited me, to be honest, for militia. I thought that was ideal. And I think they look okay. They're probably not going to do a great deal in the game because they'll be pretty weak, but you get an extra couple of figures in a militia unit, so they've got a bit more punch to them, and it helps them stick around a little bit longer. So they might work out. But either way, they were quite fun to do, quite easy to do as well, because they're mostly grey. Just threw in a few different colour trousers, and then whatever bands and backpacks and things they were wearing. It's very, very, very easy and quick to do. The officer there, he was again very static pose. He came out of the box, so I was happy to use him. But I think my favourite figure for this lot is the sergeant, which I really liked. He is actually a designated Russian figure. No, he's a Prussian as well, I think. But he's one of the silver bayonet figures you can get from North Star. You've probably seen the game, sort of Supernatural Napoleonics. The game doesn't particularly appeal, but some of the character figures they've got are absolutely lovely. And they tend to do them in packs of 5 or 6, and it's sort of 20 odd quid for a pack. And I only wanted one or two. I've got 1 or 2 figures. You'll see as we go through this, 1 or 2 figures from that range. But I didn't want whole packs, so. They were at one point, they were selling them off individually, so I took advantage, and this was one of the guys that I picked up. I think he fits in really well. He's really characterful, nice bit of heft to him. Really enjoyed painting him up. He's far more impressive than the officer, really, but that's the way it goes. But nice set of figures, which I think come up okay. As I say, poses are a little bit static, but I think that's kind of, there's a trade-off there with all the sort of disorganised and raggedy look of them. I think it works out. So that's Landwehr, militia rather. We'll move on. Yeah, as I suspected, I think this video is going to have to be in 2 halves, so I'll finish up with this part probably with these, and put a few stills up what we looked at so far, and then I'll come back and do some skirmishers, cavalry, and a gun for the second part of the video. But yeah, this is just basically some officer figures, which I will use as deployment points. Also got one more actually that I forgot to put out. Another mounted officer there. So these will be the 2 at the back there will just be used as essentially as deployment points, which in sharp practice you need 1, sometimes 2. So they're quite handy on sort of irregular bases. I think I've got those small bases. They just sell sort of odd shaped bases, which adds a bit of character, adds a bit of interest to it, I thought. And then the guy at the front here, I may use him if I want to. Takes my fancy to use a mounted officer rather than one on foot to lead the army, and then a drummer to go with him. Which sometimes use, sometimes don't. I was going to say the figures. I think that is again a front rank drummer. The officer there is front rank, I think. Definitely one of them is. I'm pretty sure it's him. And then the 3 at the back are Perry Russian command pack, which had some. I think they are named characters, but I can't remember what they are. They're not particularly meant to be anyone specific. They're just there for interest, and as I say, as deployment points. So yeah, nice figures. Enjoyed painting those. The metals are always nicer to paint, I think. Certainly always willing to put more time and effort into getting those right, particularly when they're the officer figures. So so that'll be this part. I'll stick some stills on of these, and then I shall come back with the second part of the video, look at the rest of the force. Thanks for sticking with me, and I'll speak to you again soon.